Now the brain, from side on, it looks a little bit like this. And there is what's called the limbic system. And the limbic system basically takes up about that part of the brain. And this limbic system is often called the emotional brain. And I think we all know about emotions. And I think we all know that emotions aren't a very good guide because they go up and down like the wind. But there's another part of our brain that God designed to actually control that limbic system, that emotional part of the brain. So to do this, we're going to have a look at the brain from top down. From top down, you will have a look at the brain like this. And in the front part of the brain, and we're going to call this the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain. And I think the way you're looking, it is. So in the right part of the brain, you could call that the I won't section. That's down there. Now this is a very important part of the brain. Where it's very important is, no, I won't have that cigarette. No, I won't have that cup of coffee. No, I won't have that big steak. I'll have a bowl of lentils instead. And on the left part of the brain is the I will. And the I will part of the brain is also very important because I will get out of bed and exercise this morning. I will go to bed early. I will make decisions that are helpful for my body. So you've got the I won't and you've got the I will. And we need a little bit of balance in there, and that's where we come to. Right in the center is the I want part of the brain. What do I want? Do I want a healthy body? And if I want a healthy body, then I can trigger the I won't do that or I will do that. And God designed our brain so that this part of the brain, just here in the center, is where our goals are. It's called the prefrontal cortex, or sometimes it's called the frontal lobe. And this is where our will is. This is where we make our decisions, and and the I will or the I want threaded through the won't, through the I want. That's actually what should govern our decisions. And that's so important because our decisions determine our destiny. So in the front part of the brain, this is where our intellect is. This is where our reasoning powers reside. And this is where judgment takes place. It is in this part of the brain where God communicates with man. What should I do? Should I stay in bed and have another hour, or should I get out of bed right now? And that influences whether we do the I will or the I want. That's the way God planned it. Unfortunately, there are many things today that people are doing that are actually clouding or compromising the part where our goals are, the part where our intellect, reason and judgment is. And we've been looking at that this week, though I haven't actually defined it as such. So dehydration compromises it, late nights compromise it, lack of exercise compromises it, bad food compromises it, bad air compromises it. So on the other hand, when we're well hydrated, when we're well slept, when we've got nourishing food in our bodies, when we're breathing in fresh air, we're having sunshine every day, then the I want part, in fact, one author called it the guardian. That's the guardian that's actually influences the wills and the wants part of the brain, which are, of course, affected by the limbic system, which is your emotional, your feeling part of the brain. I'd like to use as my framework the 7 mental laws that govern the brain and show you how you can rewire your brain, show you how you can actually change even the way that you think. Isn't that good news? The first law is the law of cause and effect. Effect follows cause with unvarying degree all through nature. And never should the effect be blamed as the cause. I had a lady come to me and she said, I found the cause of all my problems. I've got chronic fatigue syndrome. I said, no, that's not the cause of all your problems. That's actually the effect. Even when someone says, I've got depression, do you know you can't just get depression? Depression is actually an effect. It is not a cause. Dehydration affects depression. Late nights depression affect depression. It's Newton's third law of motion. To every action, there is an equal and an opposite reaction. The second law is the law of choice. And the law of choice, as you can see, is determined in that I want, the frontal lobe part of the brain, your guardian, where your goals are. This is what you feel like doing, but this is what you want, so that influences your decisions. And when you're well slept, well hydrated, well sunned, well exercised, well fed, that I want part of the brain is a lot stronger. But we've got something else coming here, and that's habit. You've heard of habit? Habit can be our best friends or our worst enemies. To understand habit, I'm going to draw your brain cell. Here's your brain cell. It's your nerve cell. And we have 1 trillion of these in our brain. They're the dendrites, or the receiving stations. And this is the arm that comes out of the nerve cell. These are the little filaments on the end. They're the boutons. Here is the next nerve cell. Our nervous system is an electrical system, and it does not touch. They do not touch each other. They communicate with each other via little chemical messengers in the brain. And these little chemical messengers jump from cell to cell. So the chemical messengers come in, they're encapsulated in the nucleus, and then they're sent down the arm. And they come into the boutons, and then they're released out to the next nerve cells. Now those messages can be travelling anywhere between 2 and 200 miles an hour. Wow, in a crisis. Now even though you're just sitting here, your brain cells can be moving fast because you're considering everything that you're hearing right now. And when you are hearing the things you're hearing, your brain is processing it through your I want. In fact, you're probably hearing some things and you're probably thinking to yourself, I won't have that coffee anymore. Or maybe you're hearing some things and you might start to say, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to bed earlier tonight so that I will get up and I will. Can you see it all threads through that? It's an amazing brain. In fact, science still doesn't totally understand the full functioning of the brain. If someone says, do you have a computer? You have. You've got the most amazing computer on the planet, which is the brain. And did you know that everything you're hearing today, you will be processing. You'll be processing through what you want, through your goals. You'll be processing it through your intellect, reason, and judgment. And you'll be putting in certain spots. And when you go to sleep tonight, between the hours of 9 p.m. and 2 a.m., then your brain starts processing and filing the things that you heard today. It's an amazing process. How does it know where to put it? It knows where to put it because where your want put it. So if you hear that coffee's no good, in fact, it interferes with those neurotransmitters in the brain, causing a chemical imbalance in the brain. If you hear that and you think, well, I don't care. I want my coffee. I will have it. When you go to bed tonight, it's going to put it in the spot, I will continue to have it. You see that? God gave us a wonderful thing when he gave us choice. You see, God is not in every man. Forgiveness is a choice. Just do it. Just do it. You'll get better at it. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes permanent. Repetition is the mother of retention. And repetition deepens the impression. These pathways are built in our brain. We can rewire our brain. Right up until the day we die, we can rewire our brain. And if you say it's good, guess what? It will be. And if you say it's terrible, guess what? It will be. That's the choice factor. Forgiveness is a choice, and love is a choice. Love is not dependent on feelings because our limbic system, our emotional brain, it goes up and down like the wind. Your words affect your feelings, so be very careful on your words. Your words reveal your feelings and you can't let them all out. Some say it's your right to speak your mind. It's your obligation not to speak your mind. You don't know the effect of your words on your hearer. The speaker, The speaker's getting hurt just as much as the one who's receiving them. And when people speak to you like that, just let it, you know what you say? Poor thing, he's got a problem. He's got a problem. You don't take it on. Your words reveal your feelings. What happens if you're upset? What if you're upset and angry? Go for a run. Can't run. Have a cold shower. It's Melbourne. Will it have an even better effect? Have a great big glass of water. Have some chamomile tea. Calm down. Calm that limbic system, that emotional brain down until your guardian's strong. Your words reveal your feelings, so you got to deal with them back there in the I want section. The fifth law is the law of adaptation. We've got a changeable brain, and because we've got a changeable brain, we can rewire our brain. It's also called neuroplasticity, soft-wired. Because of the law of adaptation, our brain can grow and our brain can shrink. It is true that there are things that damage brain cells, and if they're damaged, they don't grow again. But there are 3 things today that medicine is showing can stimulate new brain cell growth in the hippocampus part of the brain. 3 shockers cause a release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor is a protein that stimulates neurogenesis. Neurogenesis means new brain cells. What are the 3 shockers? They're shockers. Prepare yourself. You're going to really have to get to the I will to do them because they're shockers. Fasting. Shock. The next shock is finishing every hot shower with a quick cold. 3, high intensity interval training. Running to learn something new, another dendrite grows. That one brain cell can develop 70,000 dendrites. I can hardly get my mind around that one. And you know what the research shows? We can be growing new dendrites right up until the day we die. So there are 3 things we can grow. We can grow new pathways, we can grow new dendrites, and we can even grow new brain cells. It's about shrinking. If you don't use your brain cells, you will lose them. Number 7, the last law is the law of diversion. And the law of diversion states that when something is so firmly denied as to refuse any hope for it, the brain has the ability to divert to other pursuits. I love that law, because sometimes God closes a door, but what's the saying? When God closes a door, he opens a window. An Italian man said to me, no. What we say is when God closes one door, he'll open 2. Have you found that? So you can see by what I've shown you this morning that you can rewire your brain right up until the day we die. And when we start rewiring our brain, it will not be easy. And my prayer is that you will take up the challenge to rewire your brain. Rewire your brain so that you can have a healthier, happier life